This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, welcome to the session. Hope you all can hear me
Yes.
and hope you all practiced the this one as well, the data entities. Let me open the
Uh,
syllabus. Check. Yeah, Gaurav,
Yesterday
go
I
ahead.
was able to post the data with entity.
Okay, then that's great.
That was, I think, the version issue.
Might be, can be or cannot be, yeah? Because
Uh,
listen, it'll be. I see that I can't confirm on it, and I want to open the syllabus. 1 second. So here we are. We have completed all these primary things. Created users, we will see today, and security, we will see today, and um, services already we have seen OData services and data entities, how to work with them, and then okay. So let us see. Depending upon the time, we will see. First of all, we start with the security. So see here, we have created the menu items, and then we have created a whole lot of things. Now it's time to implement the security. How to do that? So to do that, first of all, we need one user. Okay. Let me go to Chrome, and then to create a new user, you need to log on to portal.azure.com first of all. Okay. If it is a on-premise, then it will be a something different way. Whereas if it is a cloud version, you can do everything from Azure. Or even if you are using on-premise and all the users are bound with Azure, then you can do this from Azure itself. Okay. And here you can see users, and I have one user. Click on the new user, and let's call this user as, he is giving a good name called Chris. Let me select Chris here, and name Chris Green. You can give whatever the name you want here, and it is asking to auto generate a password, or let me create a password. Let me create some password. It's GRE@2020. Block sign in, no usage location. I don't want to set any location, and I'm not setting anything. I'm creating a user called Chris. Click on the create button. It will create a new user for us. Done. It's very simple. And now you can go to incognito window, and you can try logging into portal.azure.com with this user. Okay. It's chris@pkd365 on Microsoft. Or let me do one thing. Let me log on to portal.office.com. Okay. D365.onmicrosoft.com. Sign in. Current password. You need to enter whatever the password is, and then new password. Done. Now you would be able to. Oh, very bad. Okay. I'm saying skip for 14 days, and within these 14 days, we are going to complete the syllabus, and I'm going to give the access as well. Okay. And now the next step is, let me give access to this one. Okay. Please remember, and please copy this. The username is chris@pkd365.onmicrosoft.com, and password is red@2020. Okay. Now I will give the access to Visual Studio. Okay, let me log on to PKD Visual Studio online, and then this is my D365 October 2020. Is this the one? One second. Where did I check in? Let me check. I don't remember. I forgot. Okay, dev projects, ICICI Bank. Okay, I have created one more. No worries. Okay, let me try to drag and drop this one to here. No, it's not it. Okay, I will give access to this one. Go to project settings, and then permissions, and then I'll give the contributor access to this one. Click on the add button. You can take Chris, and then save. Done. Okay. Now you can use this user to download everything from Visual Studio. This is point number 1. And now point number 2. Let's see. In Dynamics 6, we need to add this user and we need to provide the access here. Okay. So let me go to Solution Explorer. See here. If I open Dynamics 365, you can see that I have access to everything. I have access to everything. Whereas going forward, we should not have it. Is that right? Going forward, the user should have access to only the specific screens, not all of them. To do that, we should implement something called security. What is that? We need to implement something called security. And this security is going to contain multiple things. Okay? This security will contain multiple things. What are those? First one is menu items. Okay? Or these are the, I will call it as entry points. Okay? These are not part of the security, but if you want to provide the security, we need to add the entry points. Those entry points are menu items. And in the security, the first level, we will have something called privileges. So what is a privilege? Let's say you want to provide access to a screen to a specific user. We will create a privilege for that, and then we will provide access. And then the second one is called duties. Duties are nothing but the collection of privileges. Third one is called roles. Okay, and the role is nothing but the collection of duties. It is a bit confusing now. Okay, let me tell you what is a privilege. Let's take an example of a shopping mall. Okay, in that here they will be selling the clothes. So you have, let's take there you have salesman, supervisor, manager. Now what is the privilege of this guy? Yeah, salesman, sell clothes. Okay, this is the privilege, and he will have the permission of giving discount of let's say 5%. If he is doing some action, this is what he can do. And the second one is supervisor. What is the supervisor's privilege? He need to manage customers and discounts and the sales guys. This is the privilege of a manager. This is the supervisor. Similarly, manager. That means you can see here while selling the clothes, if the customer is asking discount more than 5%, okay, he will ask them to meet his supervisor. His supervisor will also have the privilege. What is his privilege? He can add a maximum of 10%, let's say, for example. If it is more than 10%, it should go to the next level. So now these are the privileges. Now what is the second one? Duties. So what is the duty of salesman? Sell the clothes. What is the duty of supervisor? Manage customers and then speak to customers and then manage sales guys. What is the duty of that? Means he is performing the role of a sales guy and then he is performing the duties of a supervisor. Okay. If it is manager, he is performing duties of his duties, supervisor duties, salesman duties. Similar role. These are the roles. Salesman is one of the role. Supervisor, manager. Okay, like this, what we will do is this supervisor, we will going to add the duty of a supervisor and then salesman. Manager, we are going to add a duty of a supervisor and then salesman. This is how it goes. Okay. Now the same thing we need to implement in Dynamics 365. By default, if you are the system admin, you can see all this data. Now let's create. We have created a few menu items now. Let me create some security stuff. Okay. For the security stuff as well, we need to synchronize with database. Now right click on the add button, new item, and then add a privilege. I am adding only one privilege. Yeah, that will be enough for understanding. And please remember, whenever you are working in the production, you should add at least two privileges. One is called maintain, second one is called read. Okay, this read privilege will have only read access, maintain privilege will have up to delete. Okay, I will create ICI, and then I will call it as bank maintain. I am calling it as ICI bank maintain. Click on the add button. Now this is my privilege. Privilege has the entry points. I am simply adding whatever the menu items that I have. Okay, where are these menu items? Display. Here I have these many menu items now. I am going to add all this to the entry points. Now for each and every entry point, you can see if I expand, it will give you the controls, data sources. If you want to add a data source and then add a specific set of permissions, you can do that. Okay. If you want to add a data source and to this data source, if you want to set some specific permissions, you can do that. One second. ICI address is the data source. If you want to grant the permissions, you can do that. Okay. Please remember, delete is the highest permission and read is the no access read. Read is the lowest permission. Read means he can only read. Similarly, if you want to add a specific permission to the form control, then you can do that. That's also possible. And similarly, you can see set of permissions here. Okay, you can add a new permission if you want. Okay, you can set a new permission and then you can add that permission. Okay, so all this can be done here. Okay, to this permission, you can add a new, you can see here, name. Let me select, one second. You can add, let's say you want to add a permission to a table field. You can add a table and then you can add a permission. But please remember, only add the relevant details, not all the details. Because sometimes what people will do is they will get the data from abbreviation and they will use the address table here. Okay, don't do like that. Only add the permissions which are relevant. Adding irrelevant permissions is not needed. Now the next point, data entity. Let's say if your privilege contains the data entity and if you want to set explicit permissions to the data entity, you can create it here. Form control. If you want to have some permissions to the form controls, then you can add it here. Okay, but all those permissions will generally be added under this one itself. Okay, most of the times, and very rarely sometimes you will add at the form control. Okay, next, this is about a privilege. Now we are done with creating a privilege. And what is the next step? The next step is creating a duty. Click on the add button, new item, and then you have a security duty, and you can call it as ICI security duty. Click on the add button. Let me set some good label here. I'll go to properties and label. I will call it as ICICI bank maintain. Done. Okay. Save. Security duty. I will call it as ICICI bank duty. Done. Save. Okay. Now here you can see the privilege. Simply go to the privileges and simply drag and drop. Okay. This is very simple. Duty and roles are very simple. Only for privileges you need to create the entry points and you need to add that entry points, which are the main items to the privilege. Others are simple. Okay. Just a second. It's loading. And I have pinged the user ID and password. Please download the code if you want. Okay. In that you will have all these pieces of code. You can download it. 1 second. It's still loading. Done. Okay, now I will take this privilege here. And the next step is to create a role. Okay, now you might have one more question. There is one more thing called the policy. When we will use this policy? See here, let's say you have a requirement. There is something called extensible data security. What is that extensible data security? Extensible data security means let's say you want to what you want to do? Let's say you want to add the data restriction. Okay, in the same company you want to add the data restriction. Then you are going to use something called extensible data security. For that we are going to create something called security policy. Okay, so for this role you can add the duties, you can add the sub roles. Let's say now this role should perform the duty of a bank management. Similarly, let's say he wants to perform some another role. Let me add the security and go to roles, and I have this audit policy manager, or let me check something for customers. Okay, customer invoice accounts receivable clerk. Okay, this is the sub role. You can add a sub role in this fashion. Okay, if you want to add multiple roles, then as well you can do. One, you need to add as a sub role, and second, you can add as duties whatever you need. Similarly, if you want to add a privilege explicitly, you can do that as well to the role. Okay, and now coming to the last one is the security policy. As I told you, the purpose of the security policy is entirely different. We are going to use this security policy for implementing, as I told you, the row level permissions. Okay, you can see the constraint tables, and then is it a constraint table? You need to set it up. Okay, and you might get it out. Oh, he's saying we can restrict the rows, but how can that be done? That will be done by using a query. To create one simple query, and from that query you need to add the condition. Only if you are applying this security policy, then you will get data only on that specific condition. Only on that specific condition. That is what is a security policy. And the security policies are used in extensible data security, which is used very rarely. Okay. Up to now, I have never implemented the extensible data security here. Okay, frankly speaking, up to now, I never implemented extensible data security, and that is implemented very rarely, as I told you. You might ask me when that will get implemented. In the same company, you have the data, and that data should be shown to the users based on their user level. Let's say if it is a manager, he should see some data. If it is a this one, he should see some data. Something like that. If you need to implement, then only we will use extensible data security. Otherwise not. Okay, it's very rarely used. Most of the times people will need flexibility here, which is why they will not ask these kind of things.
What are the use of sub roles?
Okay, now let's you have a manager. What can manager do? He can perform the role of a supervisor, duties of a supervisor, or he can perform the role of a sales guy. Okay. Now, if you need to implement that, there are two options. One, create a manager role and add the sales guy and supervisor as the sub roles. Two, create a manager, add all the duties of the sales guy and then supervisor. That's up to you. Whatever the way you want to follow, you can follow. Okay. If you use a sub role, you will end up with adding only one single role. If you go with the other way, then automatically you will end up with adding all the duties. Let's say one role has some 10 duties. Then you need to add all those 10 duties. Na? Which is easier? Adding 10 duties or this one? What do you think?
Single role, sub role.
Exactly. That is where sub role comes into picture.
Tomorrow, this user you're creating is an on-prem system or cloud system?
It's not yet there in the Dynamics 365. I need to add that user in Dynamics 365. Okay. And the validity of that user is 14 days because I have not added any contact number. After 14 days, it will get expired. Or I can say you will not be able to log in. And nowadays in Dynamics 365, everyone is going with AAD. So you have seen. And now let's say if you ask me how to change the password of this user, let me show you that as well. Okay. If you, once the user logs into portal.office.com, now he can do that change by himself. Okay. You can see here, Chris Green is the user, and then you have the settings, change your password. From here, the user can change the password. Got it? Here you can see skip for 14 days is now. After 14 days, you can see old password, create password, confirm password. Okay. This is how user will change the password. Okay, got it? And if it is a active directory, now that's a different way. So whatever he needs to do is he need to press Control Alt End, and here you can see the change password option. That's why I asked you what exactly and how exactly it is implemented. Okay, based on the implementation, we can decide how it can be done. Okay. Mm, okay, let it be.
After downloading the code from the user ID, how can we upload that in our system? Because the two
I'll
system
show you. Don't worry.
domains are different. Yeah.
No. Code for code there is no need of any domains. Okay. Code
Okay.
will work anywhere. Okay. Now we are done.
Yeah.
Now let me go to the front end and let me refresh the screen. Oh, well, this will irritate me. 1 second. Let me close and reopen the Internet Explorer. Otherwise, that MSN thing will pop up. Okay. This is not from me here. This that is from Microsoft. Okay. And which is which will be like something I don't know. I don't like that. Okay. Because it takes a lot of time even to enter something on the title bar due to that page.
Yeah. You can set from default setting to current page as this hyperlink. Then
Yeah,
that will
I know
not
that.
come.
I know that. Okay. But frankly speaking, while I never said that, okay. I will always think, but I will never. I can set the default URL for the tab, and there are a lot of things that I can do, but because I will think about that only when I'm going with the sessions, okay, not other time, which is why I will always. Okay, now you can user ID here. Now, if you want to import a user, you can click on import users, or you can try with new as well. Oh, good. It says 401 unauthorized. It is not allowing me to connect to Azure. Okay. Whereas when you are in Azure, it will allow you to import. Now let me click on the new button. It will allow me to use the new button. Okay. User ID, I will say Chris Green. And here, this is very important. It says not a valid user ID. Okay, good. Let me call Chris. Chris at the rate pkd365 dot on microsoft.com. What happened to this? Okay, might be Chris is already there. That is one more thing it is checking. Let me check. This will not be there. What is this? Let me do one thing. I don't want to enter anything. Chris at the rate pkd365 dot on microsoft.com, and let me select one person. Company USMF. You can give anything. That's up to you. Click on assign roles. Now it's not allowing me. Okay. Okay. Click on assign roles, and then now I think we have added something with ICICI. Now let's see that whether it's there or not. EFG ICICI bankroll. Okay, I'm giving ICICI bankroll to Chris. Okay. Now let me get back, and he got the system user and ICICI bankroll. Now, if you want to add any other rules, you can add it. Once you're done, click on the save button. This is how you're going to add users to Dynamics 6. Okay, users to Dynamics 365. It got saved now. Now let me go to Chrome and let me open the URL. Okay, let me see if it locks in. It says the sign reached. Very bad. I'm trying, yeah, but it is not asking. This is okay. 1 second. If it loads from here, na, I will simply no. It's not allowing. Oh, very bad. It says permanently move to new address, but it's loading in Internet Explorer. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me log out and log in. Okay. Sign out, and then I will sign in with the Chris user. Okay. Let me do that. Okay. Use another account. This time I will use Chris. And then the password. Done. Now we are logging in with the Chris user. Now let's see whether this guy has the system admin access, whether he can see all the things or whether he can see only few of the things. Now what is this? He got only 4 menu items. Very bad. Now we can see here. He got some menus, not all of them. Okay. He got some of the menus, but not all of them. Can you say this? Accounts receivable. He got. Where is system admin? Yeah, it's not there. Can you say this? Because he got a sub role and then the bank management. So this is how you need to add the users and he is going to get the data. Now you can see here default company is USMF because we have set it up when we are adding the user. This is how we are going to work with. And one more thing, if you try to add a Power BI report from his user, it will not get added because Chris does not have access to Power BI. You need to provide explicit access to Power BI for this particular user if you want to work with him. Okay. So this is how you are going to simply add the security stuff. Okay. Now let me log out and let me log in as the another user because I want to show you where the roles are configured and how those are configured and everything. 1 second. And that's up to you whether you want to work with a limited access or whether you want to work with a system admin access. I prefer system admin for developer. Okay. Okay. This is why I will not do this. Okay. This is on 212397. And this is all about security here. Nothing else in this security. This is what is security and how you are going to implement and how you are going to manage and work with the users. Okay. Now the next step. Let me go to system administration. Here you are going to find something called user groups security configuration. 1 second, let me check. Either it should be the security configuration or something.
Under security.
Exactly. Okay, you can see user role assignments, security role access, and then you can see the role to user assignment, security duty assignments. Okay, let me select any one of them. Come on.
The user what we have created in Azure is different from the user what we created here, or they both are linked.
You need to create user in Azure, then only
Okay.
you would be able to use it here. Okay. No, not this menu. 1 second. There should be a menu, a different menu. 1 second. I will always forget that. Give me a second. Security. Here, this is security configuration. Yeah. This is what I meant. It's not about the security role assignments. Okay. Now here, you can see the list of roles. Frankly speaking, I will let the functional guys know the menu items and I will ask them to create it from here itself. I want them to create the security from their end, because creating a security from our end is, frankly speaking, you will create a security tomorrow morning, he will come and ask one more change. All those things are very tedious work. Yeah. So he can directly create security from here itself. You can see, create new. Now I have the ICICI bank role. And in this bank role, there are duties. And then in this duty, you will have the privileges. And in these privileges, you can see what are the privileges. Okay. And at every point, you can see the duties. In the duties, you have the create new button. You have the privileges. You have the new button. So why you will create the privileges, duties, and roles from the back end? Okay. If I click on the create new button, it is asking enter new privilege name. Let him create from here and then add the menu items. You can see action menu items, display menu items, everything is there. Got it? This is where they will add the roles to the duties. Sorry, they will add duties to the roles. They will add privileges to the duties. They will add sub roles to the roles. This is where they will work. Okay, this is the functional configuration. The whole security is the functional configuration and not the technical configuration. Please remember, this is very, very important. Okay, now let me go to the next topic. This is all about the security and how you are going to assign it. See here, it's very simple. You need to click on the privilege and then you can see the menu items. Okay, it has got one batch export menu item here. Similarly, you can see the permissions. Okay, whatever you want to set, everything can be set from the front end. Yeah, there is no need of implementing everything on the back end. Everything can be done from the front end itself. Coming to the security configuration. Okay, so if anyone is asking you to implement the security, first of all, show him the security configuration screen and ask him to do that. Ask him to create the new privilege, ask him to add the menu items, and ask him to do that. Okay, that would be the way. You need to create the menu items, and if needed, privileges. Done. With that, your work is done. The remaining work should be done by the functional consultant, where he should add whatever he need. Okay, he need to create whatever he need. Okay, only one thing you need to do is you need to create the menu items and, if needed, privileges. Okay, because these menu items, let's say if they don't know how to add them, then you need to create a privilege and then let them know to create the privileges. That's it. Okay, so once you're done with the privileges, you're done. The duties, roles, ask them to create, they will be able to create it from this screen. Or sometimes people will ask, no, you create from the back end. Then you need to do it at any cost. There is no other chance. Okay, now the next thing I would like to discuss is about the code migration. Okay, because this will take some time. This will take some time, code migration. Okay, because we need to upload it to the LCS and then it needs to do all that stuff. Okay, so let's start with the code migration today. Okay, now let me go to LCS. So let me open it in the Chrome. That would be a better thing. Okay, LCS, and in the LCS we can do something called code upgrade. As I told you, you can upgrade you do the data upgrade as well from LCS. I will show you from where you can get that. Now, if you go to shared asset library, here you will find something called down. 1 second, let me show you. Just a second, let it load. Okay, now as I do remember, it should be in data package. Let me check just a second. Not here. 1 second. Okay. Hey, there is a problem here. I should see a few more menus. Okay. Actually, I should see one scroll bar here. I don't know why it is not getting scrolled. Can you see this? This is weird things that is happening really. Okay. Can you see this? AX 2012 data upgrade 10.0.15. This is the one that you need to download. Okay. Depending upon the version, if it is 10.0.14 you are upgrading to, then you need to do this. Okay. Depending upon which version you are using, you need to download. Please remember this. Now, if you go to the folder, you can see, one second, they are still downloading. Let it download. No worries. Okay. And those are the packages that you need to use, first of all. And then the next step is, let me create a new project, or we can use this October 2020. Already we have it. Okay. And then the first thing you need to do is the configuration. If you remember, I have done the VSTS configuration. Do you remember that? That is the first thing that you need to do. Here, team services should be bound. One second. You can see this. Already we have bound it. Okay. The next step is you need to go to the code upgrade here, and in Dynamics AX 2012 you need to generate a file called model store. Okay, I have already done that, and might be I might have pasted in temp. Let me check. Yeah, it's there. Okay, and you need to zip that file. How to create that model store? You have a command called axutil, and using that axutil command, you need to generate a model store, and then you need to use it. Okay, so once you are done, you can come here back and then create a code upgrade project here. Click on the create button, and you can see D365 upgrade. Okay, it says don't use space. Create, and then you can see PK D365 Visual Studio October 2020. Click on the add files. Here model store zip file. Click on the browse button, and then the next step would be you need to upload the model store. Okay, go to temp and then upload the model store. So it will take around 5 or 10 minutes based on the network. And once this is done, the next step is process pending. In this process pending, it will try to check for the machine availability. Once the machine is available, it will start processing. It will upload the model store to that machine, and then it will start processing. And during the processing, it will convert all the AX 2012 code into Dynamics 365 code, and then it will generate the report for us. As well as it will do a code check-in, create a work items. Okay, let it do. We will see that we'll come back because it's at 15%, so we can check that. Okay, now you can see there are two versions, minor version and major version. Let me take this major version. Click on the extract all. Click on extract the package. One second, yeah, it's taking time. Is it extracted? It's extracted. Now you can see it has again AOS service, scripts, whatever the scripts that should be run. And one second, I should have the AX update installer with one command. Okay. One second, where did I saw that? Okay. Auto data upgrade DB sync, auto data upgrade, auto backup DB. Can you see this? These are the data upgrade scripts. So what does this data upgrade exactly do? What does this data upgrade exactly do? It is going to compare the schema of AX 2012 and Dynamics 365 and then based on the configurations, it is going to upgrade the information. Okay, I have not used this script, but this is how we are going to do. If you want to do the, because as I told you, there are multiple ways. Okay, because in most of the projects we will go with the data migration. Okay, means we will create a data entities and then we will do an import and export of data wherever needed. Okay, we will create the data packages from AX 2012 and we will import the data package into D365. That's how we do. And the second way is you can do a database restore. You can restore the entire database of AX 2012 into Dynamics 365 dev machine and then run the upgrade tool, data upgrade tool, and then fix whatever the issues that you get, and then you're done. That is the second way. That is how the data upgrade will be performed. And please remember, if you have less amount of data, less amount in the sense, let's say it is 250 or 300 gigabyte or something like that, nah, then simply go for this data entities. Yeah, it will be very faster. It will take maximum of 10 to 12 man days and you can finish everything. Okay, now the next step is about the code upgrade. Now file got uploaded, good. Now it is again, it went into the upload. Now it will search for the machine for us. Okay, you can see analyze code, click on the analyze code, click on OK button. It will take time, it will do its work by itself. Okay, what happened? Done. Now it's analyzing. Okay, now it will go and it will start processing. Please remember. Okay, it will check for the machine, it will upload my model store, and then it will start processing. This will take 3 or 4 hours, so let it be there. We will keep this aside. This is how we are going to work with the code upgrade. Don't worry, once it is finished, I will show you what is the code that has generated and how we need to work with the code. All those things I will show you here. I will show you the code upgrade, all those things. Don't worry about it. This is how. Just we are done with uploading and then processing. It should process and then we need to see all the remaining steps. Okay, so let it finish. Once it is finished, I will show you how to work with the compare tool and then we will see the remaining stuff. Yeah, now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries. If there are no queries, we will come back again tomorrow. Any questions?
Please go to the Word again.
Which link?
Go to Word again.
Okay.
Word, the Word, file Word.
Oh, what file you mean? Okay. Okay.
What about of extensible data security?
Extensible data security, you can create a security policy and then you can try it. Okay, it's not a big deal. Already we have created the queries. Nah? For one of the query, you can define the range and then you can add it.
You create in Visual Studio?
Yes, you can create one policy and then attach a query to it. That's it.
Okay.
Based on the range, you are going to get the data.
That's all of security module?
Yeah. In the security, you are going to do only these things. Huh? There is nothing else in security. You need to just add the menu items, provide proper access to the users. That's what we have seen on the screen. By adding the role and sub role.
Creating security is different between on-prem system or cloud system?
There is no difference in the security between on-premise or the cloud. Okay. Creating this. Remember one thing. When you speak about the code, there is no difference in code, whatever the IoT objects that you create between the on-premise or the cloud or one domain or another domain. There is no difference at all. Everywhere it is same. There is no difference. If I give the code, okay, for example, what I have done.
I want to show my system, my company system to.
Okay. One second. Let me make you presenter. Oh,
Can
what
I
is
share
this?
my screen?
Yeah, for that only I'm trying to make you presenter. 1 second. Okay, make presenter. Yes. Okay, now you are the presenter. You can share your screen now.
You see
Yeah,
my
I
screen?
can see it. Mm. So I think your users are also being managed by Azure Active Directory. Yeah. Can you log on to portal.office.com with this user?
This user don't have per,
I lost your voice in between.
I ask about this user. How can reset password of all
Okay.
this user?
Now see here, you're
This
logged
user.
on to Dynamics 365. From Dynamics 365, you can't change the password. Okay. If you want to change the
By
password,
administration users, yes,
huh?
by the administration user, admin.
Even if you are the system administrator, this is not the place. Okay. Now can you see that you have that axtest.d365 f4.onprem.stroke.com for the domain. Okay. There will be an active directory. From there, you can change that.
Okay.
Okay. So that active directory will be in the Azure. Can you log on to portal.office.com with this account once? I want to check whether they have provided you the access or not. Can you check, go there? Because most of the times when you have the access to Dynamics 365, you will get it. So can you go to the next tab and
I,
open
ca- I can't
portal.office.com?
I can't log in on domain now. Then I can't log in domain.
No, portal.office.com. I meant to say it's not the domain. Portal.office.com. Can you log on there? Let me ping you the URL. Okay. Can you log on to this URL using that user? Yeah, that one.
You want
What is your
any
username?
user?
No, not this one. The user that you have logged on to Dynamics 365.
I don't have now. This user I created by this course.
Not this user, Mosher. I mean to say, already you have logged on to Dynamics 365 with your domain, na? Using the domain account, please log in.
I don't have domain user now.
No, the
But
same user at the domain, it will work. Okay, whatever you have, how you have logged on to Dynamics 365, na? The same way you can log on here. Click on that button. No. Go back. Not this one.
okay.
In the Dynamics 365, you have the user account, na? Using that user, you can log on here. You can do that.
Come on, I don't have domain user now. I will tell my
Okay.
company to get my domain user.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You
Any
understand
other
me?
questions? Yeah, got it. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I will end session for everyone. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time. Thank you all. Bye.